Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Brad. Yeah, please, thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. Okay, let's just ask the question. Who's here because you want to make some more money? Raise your hand, please. Okay, if your hand's not up, you're probably looking for the motivation seminar. That's the wrong room, by the way. Who's here not just to make money, but you actually want to do something where you build something that creates real value, impacts your family and the community? In fact, say aye to that one. Aye. Isn't that what being an entrepreneur is about? Yeah. It's really not about the money. The money's a byproduct of service. The more people you serve, the more money you'll make. So the focus that we have, whether it's Daymond and myself, is really taking the attention off of ourselves, putting it onto others on how we can serve. And we will then grow a phenomenal business. It's really about service, and money's the byproduct of that. Now, let me ask this question. Would you all agree with me that everybody in this room, in fact, everybody in the world, has been programmed from the time we were born? Yes or no? Yes. When I say program, there's on many different levels we've been programmed. But let's talk about money, for example. The programming runs really deep. Most people in the room have been trained throughout your lives that if you're going to make money, you go out there and you trade an hour of your life to make so many dollars, correct? Is that true? So, by the way, I will be asking questions. If I ask a question, I'm looking for a... Yeah, it's not a movie. I can see you. Okay? So please answer because you'll learn more that way. So if we trade an hour of our time for money, that's trading time for money. A wealthy person will tell you that's the worst way on the planet to make money. First of all, it's the lowest paid money, and it's the highest taxed money. It's called earned income. It's a horrible way to make money. You need to learn to leverage yourself. Any wealthy person will tell you if you're not leveraging yourself, leveraging your time, your money, and your skills, you are being leveraged by somebody that knows how to leverage you. So what happens then is you end up becoming a spoke in the wheel, and you can easily be replaced. And by the way, if you have a job or even a business, you can easily be replaced because we live in the age of disruption. Who understands that today we are living in an age where, like never before, we're seeing disruption from governments to economies to companies being disrupted very quickly? Raise your hand if you see that. And what that means is that you can easily be replaced through automation, through outsourcing, through artificial intelligence, and robots. They're replacing jobs at a rapid pace today. So let me go deeper into the program. What we want to do is have our money making us money. Because your money can work 24/7, you can't. So you've got to get out of this mindset, this program to trade your time for money. You're never going to make much money that way. Wealthy people don't do that. So here's the key. I'm going to take you first to understand the system, because a lot of people in the room do not know that the reason so many people are struggling in our country, America, and a lot of people are broke in this country, by the way. I don't know if you know this, that 62% of Americans don't even have $1,000 in their bank account. That's pretty sad, isn't it? Okay? So here's the deal. Who went to school? Raise your hands, please. Okay, who went to public school? Okay, and that's where most people got their so-called education. So let me give you a little bit of brief history on the American public school system in case you don't know it. This is not putting teachers down, but this is going to put the system down. So some of you might get upset at this, but the truth is the truth. So let me share it with you. First of all, did you know that the American public school system was put in place never to educate us? It was put in place to school us. It's called compulsory mass schooling. Now, an example of that is if you have fish swimming freely in the ocean, they swim freely. If you take a school of fish, they move in unison. It's called groupthink. So the American public school system was brought to our country during the industrial age. We were the greatest nation on the planet. People came from all around the world to come to America, the place of freedom, the place where you could start a business. We had the most entrepreneurs. We had the most patents. We had the most inventions. And this is where we were until the industrial age hit. Well, when the industrial age hit, the titans of industry, they needed a way to reprogram the masses so they wouldn't compete. What happened during the time was Prussia had a school system called the Prussian school system. And if you don't know the history of this, I suggest you go research it because it will open up Pandora's box. So Prussia was losing the battles on the battlefield. Napoleon beat the Prussians. And the reason the Prussians kept losing battles is because they had soldiers who were free thinkers. Now, if you're a free thinker, is that a good place to be on the battlefield? When the commander tells you to do something, you do your own thing. It's not going to work, right? So what they did is they implemented a new school system, and the number one focus in the school system in Prussia was to teach the children to obey without question. Do not question me. And then also to support the nation state and to be a patriot. Those were the three prongs of the Prussian school system. It worked so well, the industry boomed in Prussia, and their battles began to be won, and they started to take over other lands. Horace Mann went to Prussia and brought that system to America. Now think about it. The Vanderbilts, the Carnegies, the Rockefellers are building industry in America, the railroads, the factories, and they need a mass group of workers, people that are willing to give up freedom for security. And you can't do that with adult entrepreneurs. They're not going to give up freedom for security. They know their power is in freedom. So what happened is they re-educated the youth. They made the one-room schoolhouse illegal in America in 1900. And they implemented mass public schooling, which is funded through foundations. Who funds the foundations? The elite. The Vanderbilts, the Carnegies, Rockefellers, today it's the Gates and ExxonMobil, etc. And they decide the curriculum. So what they wanted to do is make sure the students learned only what they needed to know to make their 8, 10, 15 bucks an hour, to work 8, 10 hours a day, to make them wealthy. So the rich have been getting richer and the masses broker because of the program that's running in the back of our minds. You have 10, 20 years in school, you did not get educated, you got schooled. Raise your hand if you understand what I'm talking about. Now, if you don't believe me, I don't want you just to believe me, I want you to go test it yourself, go research this, it's all out there. So Daymond calls this the wrong side of the formula. The wrong side of the formula is you're going to be playing a game where you're going to keep losing because the system of economics is not set up for this system. It's set up for the business owner. That's how you win in this country. That's what America was founded on. So Forbes magazine said 8 out of 10 businesses fail every 18 months in America. After that, another 18 months, another 90% are failing. So most people are going to fail in business because their employee mentality just does not work in business. So you need to go acquire the proper skills and the proper teams. When Daymond actually started FUBU, he closed it down 3 times, and he did that because he tried to build the business himself. He learned you cannot be a self-made man or a woman. You need to be team-made, customer-made, employee-made. So he started to acquire a team. Once he did that, he built a $6 billion industry. So the key is do what you're great at and delegate everything else to your team. So Forbes magazine also said that 20% of the businesses will win. They're the ones that succeed. What do you think the 20% do differently than the 80%? That's a question. Okay, they acquire teams. They have the best people around them. Who's ever heard this? Your network determines your net worth. Raise your hand if you've heard it. Your network determines your net worth. Your network determines everything about you. Look at the people you're hanging out with. The professional football players hang out with who? Professional football players. Doctors hang out with who? Crackheads hang out with who? You get the point? So at the end of the day, you need to hang around the people you want to become like. And so your network determines your net worth because the people in your network should have the capacity to have the funding, the customers, the connections, the resources. And if you don't have those in your network, you need to change your network. It's not working. All you have to do is look at the fruit on the tree. So the top businesses, they do something different. They have teams. They're always educating themselves. They're on the cutting edge of new technology, and they're looking for the pivot, which is called disruption. They also know how to brand. Branding means you need to differentiate yourself from the competition. If you're the same in your business, you will be out of business very quickly. How many pizza shops are in your neighborhood that are the same? How many hairdressers? How many mechanics? They're all the same, and a lot of them go out of business or they're surviving. They're not really thriving. So we got to understand marketing, branding, structures. These are critical things that we're not taught in school, and that's why people come to us and to work with Daymond's team to learn how to build a business properly with better results and a lot less risk. So here's the question. How do you go from where you are right now, wherever you are in business, and I don't know where you're at financially. Some of you might be making 20 grand a year. Some might be making 50,000, 100,000. Some might be making $1 million or more. I know we have a very wide net in the room. Some very, very wealthy people in here and some very not so wealthy. Here's the question though. How do you go from where you are right now to where you want to be in life? Hard work won't do it. Hard work, there's a lot of hard workers that are broke. Right? That's not going to do it. Education is good, but there's a lot of educated idiots in the world. They have PhDs and they're broke. True? I can point out a lot of them, believe me. Here's the problem too. Some of the people that are the smartest in the world are the brokest people. You know why? They think too much and do too little. They overanalyze. It's called analysis paralysis. Some of the best businesses are run by people that aren't that bright. Why? Because they know one thing, like Bill Gates said, you should not be the smartest person in your business. If you are, you're going to be out of business. You better surround yourself with smarter people, and then you manage them. That's what your job is to do. So you don't need all these degrees to be successful. But here's what you do need is a vehicle that gets you from where you are to where you want to go faster. Now let me ask, is there any PhDs in the room? Anybody? Okay, what's your name, ma'am? Latanya. Okay, you're a PhD, which tells me that you've done a lot of work, a lot of investment in your education. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to show you why so many people don't understand how success works. Let's say, Latanya, right? Okay, so let's say we're going to have a race from here to Miami. There's $1 million waiting for you in Miami, whoever gets there first. The vehicle I'm going to give you is a big wheel. You better leave now, right? Because you're going to have some work to do. Now, you're much more intelligent than me, I guarantee you, and I'm sure you're very good at what you do. I flunked kindergarten. Honestly, I'm dyslexic, just like Daymond, dyslexic. But here's the key. I'm not going to take a big wheel. I'm actually going to take a jet, and I know how to fly a jet. So here's the thing. Who's going to win this game and get there first, me or you? I am. Is it because I'm better looking than you? Watch it. No, it's not. And it's not because I'm smarter. It's simply because I have the better vehicle, correct? So that's what we're going to talk about is the better vehicle to get you where you want to go quicker. So we're going to talk, there's 7 pillars of wealth. Write that down. There's 7 pillars of wealth. We're going to talk about 2 of them today. The first one, most everybody in the room knows, it's because the wealthy create their money this way, and they also grow their money this way. It's called real estate. Who in the room knows that real estate is one of the best ways to make money on the planet? Okay, who owns investment properties? Raise your hands. Okay, very few people do compared to the masses in the room. Well, why don't you own investment properties if you know this is one of the best ways to make money? Come on, there's an excuse brewing. Tell me. I don't have any money. When I grew up, my mom told me we can't make money because it takes money to make money. Who's heard that before? That's a lie. That's not even true. You believe a lot of lies. Most people believe a lot of lies and they don't serve you. It doesn't take money to make money. You can get a tomato seed and plant it and grow tomatoes and take them to the farmer's market and make money. It takes knowledge. It takes the understanding of the abundance of the universe. Money is an illusion. You're the value. You're the wealth. You're the one you've been waiting for your whole life. People don't get this. They think something outside of them is the magic. It is not. It is you. So here's the key. Real estate is great. I'm not going to talk about it, but Trey will. When he comes up here, he's going to share with you. At 20 years old, he made $1 million in 18 months starting off in real estate. He's in his 30s now. He works with, if anybody's watched the Property Wars TV show, he works directly with Doug Hopkins. So he's going to teach you a few strategies on how to make money. By the way, if you're sitting in the room and you say, I don't have any money, he'll show you how you can use none of your own money, purchase a property, be able to flip it. The average flip today in the United States is $70,000 profit. And if you could do that in 60, 70, 90 days, would that make a difference in your life? Even if you have horrible credit, doesn't matter. It's not about you. Who thinks that could make a difference? Huge. And if you're not doing it, you're missing out on financial literacy. So stick around and listen to Trey because he's excellent. What I'm going to talk about is pillar number 2, which is free enterprise, owning your own business. Now, in America, we are the only country on the planet that still does not teach their young their system of economics. When you went to school for 10, 20, or 30 years, they taught you how to go out and get a what? A job. A job. And this is why so many people struggle today. Who loves your job? Would you do it for free? No, then you don't love it that much, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about that. Now, here's what I'm going to focus on. The DNA of being a successful entrepreneur. We're going to talk about what only the top 3% know that the 97% do not know, and that's why they're struggling. We're going to talk about the 2 marketing strategies to create traffic and revenue, and we're going to talk about the real Shark Tank experience. Now, we're not talking the TV show, but what Daymond's talking about, Daymond was... President Obama named Daymond as the global ambassador to entrepreneurship. So when he started the Success Formula, it was really about helping entrepreneurs across the country to start their business, grow their business, and scale their business, taking his life's work, cutting out all the crap, and teaching the meat to make sure that you do it right, more effectively and faster, and not make the same mistakes he made. And it makes sure you get there quicker. So that's why he started this program, and we're looking for a select group of entrepreneurs that want to take their business to the next level. Who would like to work with Daymond's team, by the way? Raise your hand so I can see who you are. Okay, it's a lot of hands. Obviously, everybody wants to, but very few people will align their talk with their walk. Listen, I just got back from Vienna, and the thing about Europeans that they don't like about Americans is Americans talk too much and do too little. We used to be the nation of doers. Today, we're a nation of talkers. So we're looking for the people that align their word with their deed and walk the talk. And that takes execution. What makes you successful is execution. So by the way, write down these dates because Daymond is sending his team here for 3 days. For those of you that are really serious about moving your business to the next level, write down these dates. It's going to be in Boca Raton, June 23rd, 24th, and 25th. He calls it the Real Shark Tank Experience. You're going to be working on branding, marketing, structuring, building your network, how to get capital. We're going to show you everything you need to do to be growing a proper global brand. Now, if you just want to stay small, that's fine too. We'll help you grow. You just got to be a different level than you are now. You should be growing to some degree. We're looking at a global game. Make sense? Yes or no? You all with me? Okay, good. Good. So that's what we're going to cover. And then also Trey's going to talk about real estate and how to go out there and find a property, flip it, or do some other strategies and make some money and put some money in your pocket. It's a great portfolio as a second business or a first business for you. So here's the question. Why are you here? Who in the room already has a business? Okay, good. When we talk to people, it's very interesting because we have people that come to our events that have $30, $40 million businesses, and we have people that just started a business that have nothing, and we have people that think they have a business and what they really have is a hobby. Or they own their job. Because here's the thing, a lot of people believe they have a business and they don't. They're just working for themselves and they're doing commerce. That's not a business. So we want to make sure we help you to build a business where you're not working in it, but you're working on it. So it's automated. Who would like an automated business? Isn't that a better way to go? And that's really what we're about. Who's here not because you have a business, but you want to start one, you're tired of working for somebody else? Anybody in that group? Okay, good. And this is the best place to be because getting the correct knowledge is more important than anything else. Most Americans will put an alarm system in their home when? After they get robbed. The best time to do it, when you have nothing left, right? I think you should be installing the proper systems before it happens. Same thing in business. You want to get the right knowledge before you go out and spend your time, energy, and money and fail. So congratulations for being here. Now, who has a product-based business? Hey, can you guys check that, please? Who has a product-based business? Okay. Who has a service-based business? Who has both? And that's the better way to have it is both. We want to have you aligned so that you have both product and service-based businesses because it will make such a difference for your income streams. All right? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to push your buttons. And when I say I'm going to push your buttons, what I mean by that is I want to push your buttons in a way where you might get agitated. And some of you maybe already have done that. But here's the deal. If I push your button, what happens? Who's ever been pissed off before? Raise your hand if you've ever been pissed off. Okay. Some of you are on the way here, right? You're like, I got pissed on the way over here. But when somebody pushes your button, and you have people in your life that push your button, what's the first thing we want to do with those people? We want to push them away. We want them out of our circle of influence because they cause agitation in the body. Well, here's the thing we need to learn. We need to learn to stop getting rid of the button pusher and start getting rid of the damn button. You see, the problem is people that come into your life that push your buttons are your greatest teachers. They're teaching you to be aware that you have issues still that you have not worked out. If you're going to build a big business, it starts here. If you have not built yourself enough as a human being, your business will stay small. So if I push your button and it causes a reaction in your body and you think, I don't like him, write it down, whatever it was I said that caused that reaction. Because that means you came here to hear that. That means you haven't done the work on that area in your life. Does it make sense? Because too many people are controlled by external circumstances, and that is the problem that we have in most people's world. Give you an example. When I was 28 years old, I was over $30,000 in personal debt. I was living with my mom at the time because I'd moved back in with her. I had $5,000 overdraft protection. So I was basically struggling. And I remember going to the ATM machine, punching in my numbers. I was like, damn, I'm broke. I mean, I felt sick. Has anybody ever looked at your financial situation and feel sick? Like, I can't pay my bills. I'm probably going to get evicted. Have you ever felt that way? Here's the problem, though. What I did is I took the I am, and I defined it by something outside of myself. I said, I am broke because I had no money in the account. So when I'm broke, what happens? I take on the pattern of broke. I go into poverty consciousness. I breathe differently. My physiology changes. I walk broke. I talk broke. I got no money. You see people like this, don't you? Don't you? They resonate broke. You don't even have to look at their account. You're like, they're broke. Just the way they came in the room, they look broke. Right? You know why? Because anchored themselves to an external thing, and they believe based on something outside of them that they're broke. What I learned about later is this. I should have done this, and I didn't know this then. I should have punched in the buttons and said, damn, there's a lot of room in that account. Now, isn't that more true than me being broke? It doesn't define me. I'm rich. Where's the money? It's just not in my account. Where is it? It's probably in somebody else's account. Because they're doing something that I'm not doing. See, if you understand who you were born rich. Every person was, because to understand the odds for you to be on this planet is huge. You were born wealthy. You're the value you've been waiting for. But because you've been programmed to believe that wealth is outside of you, you do things that cause you to be broke. And I'm not talking if you have money or not. There's people with a lot of money that are still broke. Broke is a mindset. It's a consciousness. Wealth is a consciousness. It's not about what you have. It's about who you are. When you wake up to who you are, you do what you're supposed to do. When you get up in the morning, you should be looking in the mirror going, I'm wealthy. Every goal, desire, and dream is met instantaneously through divine intelligence. Avalanches of abundance fall through my life every day, and in every way I'm getting better and better. Now, if you start to do that every day, are you going to reprogram your neural highways, yes or no? Because you're already lying anyway. There's just negative lies. You look at my eyes, I look like crap. So we need to start reprogramming the way we are. Then you start to attract different people. Because watch people that are wealthy, they walk differently. They'll look you in the eyes. They have confidence because they know who they are. Broke people don't do that because they believe that something outside of them defines them. So it all starts with your mind. And if you don't get that right, you'll never have a big business. Raise your hand if you understand. So it's critical, guys. If you have not read the book Think and Grow Rich, you need to be reading that once a month. It's Daymond's first favorite book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So if I push your button, just write it down. That's on purpose. I want you to see and be aware of that. Now, this is my mom. We were broke, so we grew up broke. Physically, we had no money. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 4 years old. My dad was a raging alcoholic, and my mom kicked him out at 4 years old. Now, my mom had no job skills, and she had to go out and start working jobs. Bartending, house cleaning. I never saw her much. She taught me a work ethic. If you're going to make money, go to work. The problem is I started to learn to model my mom. When you model people in your life that don't have money, you do what they do. She said, you need money, go work. 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Well, she gave up all her time and still had no money. So one day she is crying on the couch, and I remember looking at her, and I said, Mom, don't worry. Someday I'm going to be rich. And she's probably thinking, you flunked kindergarten, I'm not going to hold my breath. So I just wanted to take care of my mom. When you're a little boy and you see your mom work that hard and you see your dad abuse your mom, you just want to take care of your mom. That was my reason in my life that I wanted to be successful, to help my mom. So at 28, when I moved back in with my mom, I was worse off at $30,000 in debt, like I told you. But here's the interesting thing. I went to a seminar in Denver just like this one in 1995. I was 28, and it changed my entire life. And I hope I can be that turning point for you today, because it can change your life like you've never seen. When I went to the seminar, it was on trading the financial markets. I sat at the back. I was skeptical, but I had no clue because I had no knowledge in my life. And this guy talked about making money. And I had never heard these philosophies or strategies in my life. I waited for him in the hallway. And when I met him, he goes, what's your name? And I said, Vince. And he said, Vince, did you enroll in my training? He was selling a very expensive 3-day training on trading the markets. I said, no. He said, why? I said, because I'm broke. I can't afford it. And this is where my life changed. He said, do you know why you're broke? I said, no. He said, you're broke because you look broke. You speak broke. You think broke to confess that you're broke. Everything about you radiates being broke. He goes, I bet your family's broke. I said, oh, you met my family. And he nailed me. And I said, okay. He goes, you want to be wealthy? I said, yes. He said, wealth is created instantaneously in the way you think. He goes, wealthy people take every excuse, turn it into a reason. Broke people take every reason, turn it into an excuse. Which one are you? And I sat there with, and so I went home and I told my mom, I want to do this program. Now, I thought my mom would lift me up because you think your family's your biggest supporters. Your balcony people. My mom pulled me right down and said, that's a bunch of crap. Who knows that some of the closest people in your life are the very people that will pull you down in your life? Raise your hand if you know that. If your hand's not up, it's because they're sitting next to you or what? You brought them, didn't you? So she didn't get it. I figured, okay, I'll go to my taekwondo instructor. He's a PhD, smartest man I knew. He went to university, had the degrees, so in a bigger house. I went to him, I said, Levi, I want to do this program. He said, Vinny, that's a racket stay away, go to university like I did. And I looked at his lifestyle and I said, he's broke too. Just at a different level. He had a bigger house. That was it, but he's still broke. I said, I don't want to listen to these guys anymore. I'm 28 and I'm worse off because I listened to them. So I stopped listening and I figured out, how can I do this program? What can I do? And I went to the bank and I was already $30,000 in debt. And my thinking was, I'm broke already anyway, so I'm $30,000 in debt. If I end up $50,000, it feels the same. If you can't pay the bill, it doesn't matter how deep the hole is, right? So I used their money. I went back and enrolled in the course in 1995. By 1997, I was totally debt-free, and I learned how to make money. Became a millionaire in my 30s. In fact, what I did, when I moved from Denver, Colorado, I moved to Seattle, Washington. I took massive action. My mom helped me pack the car with my air mattress and hardly anything, and I lived above the building where they were teaching the strategies. I sat with a gentleman by the name of Richard, and I watched him make $10,000 in 1 hour in the financial markets, and I saw exactly how he did it. And I had never seen anybody in my life make that kind of money. So I learned how to do it. And the power is, when you learn by being around people that know how to make money, you start to make money. Your network determines everything. So that's kind of the story that led me here, okay? So let's get in some training now. Who in the room, again, has a business? Who has a sole proprietorship? Okay, those should be illegal. Those are not a good way to be in business. What I'm going to share with you right now, very few people in the country know. When Daymond assembled his team, he looks for the best of the best. You need to have people that know what you do not know. So what I'm going to share with you right now is from an attorney by the name of J.J. Childers. His focus after law school was asset protection, tax minimization, and family planning. What I'm going to show you is why the rich get rich and the masses do not. So let me show you this. When you're in business, the two things that are going to come against you are lawsuits and taxes. Okay? So lawsuits and taxes. As a wealthy business owner, who's a wealthy business owner? Okay, see, here's the problem. I have one hand going up. If you knew who you were, your hands would all be up. Because the way you become a wealthy business owner is you know who you are. I'm not asking if you have the money in the account. I'm asking if you're a wealthy business owner. How can you become something that you already don't think you are? Does it make sense? Yeah. So let's try it again. Who's a wealthy business owner? Raise your hands. Oh, good. There's a lot more of you. Nice to meet you. As a wealthy business owner, he helps wealthy business owners to protect themselves. So watch this. If you have money or you look like you have money, people in America want to sue you. Every 30 seconds, a lawsuit's filed. There's people that make a living on this. So here's the key. They're going to come after you. If you have a business, you have a 50% chance of being sued this year and every year. So odds are you will get sued 50% of the time. So here's what we want to do. We want to own nothing. If I own nothing and you sue me and you win, what do you win, Willie? Nothing, which is everything that I have, nothing, right? So I want to own nothing. Number two is I want to do nothing. If I do nothing and you sue me, it'll be thrown out of court as a frivolous lawsuit. So I own nothing and do nothing. Okay? So watch this. That's number one. Number two is taxation. Most people in this room are paying more money in taxes than food, clothing, and shelter combined. And people don't even know how much tax you're paying because the way the system does it, they keep you from really knowing. But if you knew, we'd have another revolt. So here's the key. I was talking about this in Houston last month, and there was a lady sitting right here, and I said this, I believe in paying taxes, I just believe in my fair share, which should be as close to zero as possible. And she got all mad. I mean, everybody else was okay, but she was really upset, and she goes, how dare you use our roads, and she starts telling me this whole diatribe about this issue with taxes. And she mentioned patriotism and taxes in the same sentence. And I said, okay, apparently you don't understand either one, patriotism or taxes, if you're putting them together. You don't understand American history and how we went to battles for a tiny little tax. So the reason people are laying down on taxes is because they don't understand where the money's going. We have a $20 trillion debt in America. $20 trillion is a huge number. We have $100 trillion in unfunded liabilities. That means mathematically we're a bankrupt nation. The reason they're not raising interest rates is because they cannot service the loan. They cannot pay the interest on the debt. We have to borrow money to pay interest on the debt. We have financially illiterate politicians lining their pockets on both sides, taking your tax money and blowing it. I don't want my money going to fiscally irresponsible people. How about you? The rest of the money they're using also, they're not building infrastructure, if you've noticed. The bridges are falling down. They're using it on wars. America is a war nation. We've been at war all our history except for 20 years. We are the biggest warrior nation on the planet, which means my money, your money, is going to drop bombs and fiscal irresponsibility. If I can use the law to pay the least amount of taxes, I'm going to do everything I can to do that. Who agrees? Okay, if your hand's not up, good. We're glad you're in the room because the government loves you. Okay, so let's get into this. Now watch. It's funny because we can teach kids how to make money a lot easier than adults. Why do you think we could teach kids how to make money quicker than adults? Programming, right? So watch. It's really interesting. There's a science. It's called the science of persuasion, the science of language. Language creates everything. If you don't know this, it's called NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. It's the science of the way we speak. Your words influence or somebody's words influence you, and most people don't even understand how their words work, and that's why they don't get where they want to go in life. They don't understand how their languaging works. Sound creates form. Okay? So watch. If you were bit by a dog when you were 3 years old, you then anchored that dog to pain. So a lot of people that have phobias, like a fear of dogs, they never again see another dog in their entire lives. They see the same dog projected on another dog. They see the past being reincarnated, and that's why they have a fear. So what happens is the same happens with adults with failure. You're actually reincarnating your failures of the past onto now. And that's why so many people keep failing. In the back of their mind, they think, if I try, I'm going to fail. And the system taught us this, by the way. When you were a kid, you knew if you had to try to walk, you're going to fall down. But that's how you learn to walk. But now, people don't do that. So a kid, we can teach them and program them much quicker because they don't have the same programs adults do. So let's pretend you're all 5 again. Let's just take you through how to do this very quickly. Let's say you set up a box. We're going to call it a toy box. When you have a toy box, you want to put your toys in the toy box. When I talk about toys, I'm talking about your assets. Your bank account, your land, your building, your vehicles, your computers, your office equipment, all your assets go into the box. Now you don't own anything, right? You don't own anything. The box, which we're going to call a limited liability company, it owns the things. So if somebody sues you personally, I don't own anything. Make sense? Good luck. However, some of you in the room have already done this. You set up a company and you put your assets in it. Who's done that? And so a lot of people think you're okay, but you're not. The reason is all they're going to do is sue your box, and they'll get the toys. So what JJ would tell you to do, if you're in business in this room, you need to have at least 2 companies set up, if not many more, to structure. So we'll set up another box called company number 2. Company number 2 does not own anything. It does everything. Company number 1 owns everything and does nothing. If you're running your business out of the same box that owns stuff, you're in trouble. So watch. Company number 2, you execute business with the public. The public then will pay you money. That money is going to go back up to box number 1. And how we do that, we use contract law. So we set up a lease agreement between the 2 companies, and company number 1 is leasing everything to company number 2. Company number 2 is paying money to company number 1. That money goes back up where it needs to go. We set up a second agreement called a licensing agreement. We'll license our intellectual property to business number 2 so they can go out and sell it to the public. But they don't own it. So if they come after you to sue it to get that intellectual property, they can't take it because it's not company number 2's to be taken from them. It's company number 1's. And we'll put a rescind clause in there that gives us the right to rescind the contract anytime we see fit. So now when the public decides they want to sue you, they will sue. And when they sue you and they win, they'll win everything in box 2, which is what? Nothing. So what do? We use corporate bankruptcy law. We'll bankrupt box 2, open box 3 immediately. We'll be back in business by moving our contracts around. Who likes that? This is how the rich get richer. This is what big companies do, and this takes a lot of money. When you join our team, you're going to learn to do this, because if you're not doing this, you're in trouble. Guarantee you, a good lawyer will take you apart. If you think you set up your company at Office Max or Legal Doom, good luck. All right, so that's an example. There's a lot more to it, but that's pretty cool stuff. Who's seen, hey, Jeremy, would you reach in my bag and grab me that belt? I have the black belt in there. Who's seen the Shark Tank? Okay, good. So about 40,000 people try out for the Shark Tank every season. About 112 make the show, and about 40 get a deal. Okay? So there's a huge number of people that Daymond and the other sharks don't even get to see. That's why Daymond started the Success Formula, is to get out to find the great businesses that will never make TV because they're not exciting. Who knows that reality TV is not real? Raise your hands. Okay, good. Thanks. Thanks, buddy. So it's a setup. And so Daymond's out looking for real businesses that are really going to do something. So you might remember 3 seasons ago a show came on, and it was the guy's name was Nate Hostoffel, and he started a company called Mission Belt. Anybody remember him? He had a green shirt, tennis shoes, and he took the holes out of the belt with this lever. He said, we took the holes out, so it's just a belt with no holes. So this belt is actually, Nate did not create the belt. He didn't even create the buckle. He found the belt. I bought this one in Thailand 10 years ago. This has been sold for 20 years in Asia. All he did is take somebody else's product and marketed it, and he started making money. Write this down, please. I don't care how good your service is or how great your product is. If you're not the best marketer, you're going to lose. The best marketer wins. Write that down. The best marketer wins. I don't care what your business is, you better know how to market effectively, and we're going to teach you how, because most businesses have absolutely no clue. We're blown away at the lack of knowledge and understanding marketing. So Nate got the belt. Now think this through. Nate's working in Salt Lake City as he's working at a car dealership. He's broke. He's working at a car dealership. He's an employee. So his mental program has always been work for somebody else, trade time for money. Most people do this, then they jump out of their job into their own business called the S category, self-employed. When you jump out of one job and you jump into how many jobs when you start your own business? Like 15, right? And you're only good at one, and you suck at the other ones. So this is why most people fail. They don't know what they're doing on everything they're supposed to do. So he gets the belt. He starts going door to door and selling this belt in neighborhoods, and he's making money. Now, I don't know everybody, but Nate's a good friend of mine. And here's what happened with Nate. When he went out there, he had the belts, but he didn't have that many because he didn't have capital. He didn't have money to buy a lot of belts. He didn't have sourcing to get the belt cheap enough to make a really good margin. He didn't have the internet technology. He didn't understand marketing. He didn't understand the team and how valuable a network is to open up your business to new levels, right? So he didn't have any of that, but he did have one thing all entrepreneurs must have, which is hustle and drive and willing to do whatever it takes to win. If that's an entrepreneur, they see what they want, they go after it. If you see obstacles, you're not an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs just go through those, right? So he went out doing this. Look what he did. In 6 months, he did $39,000 in sales in just 6 months selling belts door to door. That's not very good because he's not leveraging himself. You're going to run out of juice doing this. So what did he do? He invested $20,000 to work with Daymond's team. Now, I asked him, why would you do that? Here's the key. A lot of you in the room wouldn't do that, which is shocking to me. And the interesting thing is this. Everybody's heard the saying, time is money, right? That's a lie. Who taught you that? Time is not money. Yeah, school and your boss. Time is precious. You never get it back. It's finite. Money is infinite. You can always make money. It's always around because they keep printing it every day. It's an illusion. So when I say time is money, that's a lie. Money's precious. My question is this. What's more valuable to you, time or money? Time. When I ask that question, everybody says time, but if you look at their lives, they're not congruent. You waste your time watching Kardashians, right? And then you hold tight to your money like, I can't give this money up because this is all I got. And this is why people live a lie. They are not congruent in their lives. They say time's valuable, but they waste it. They say money's not as valuable, and they hold on to it. Scarcity mentality will break you. So Nate put the money in to his education. What did it do? Well, the first month after executing, working with Daymond's team, they did $1 million in belt sales. $14 million that year. So he went from being broke in Salt Lake City to now on his third business, multi-millionaire from a belt and some other businesses now. That is the power of having the right team. Now, I'll tell you why so many people struggle. At the same time you were going through school, right? All of us went through school. We were getting programmed to get a job. They also programmed us all the time, they're doing it still today, to be a consumer. This is a capitalistic country, which means the only way it works is if you're getting into debt on stupid stuff, not smart stuff, stupid stuff, and you keep buying stuff. So what do Americans do? They buy stuff they don't need with money they don't have, and they put it in storage facilities. Correct? It's a program. So as a consumer, this is what breaks so many people. You see, I started as a consumer too. That's my program. When I went to learn to trade the stock market, here was my first thought. And as a consumer, tell me if this isn't the first thought. How much does something cost? That's your first question. Next question, can I afford it? Those are your two questions. That doesn't work in business. So I'm sitting there in front of a stock in Seattle. I put my hand over the mouse and I'm shaking. I'm thinking, I want to make some money, but what if I don't? I could lose. How much can I lose? I'm going through all this thinking, but nothing's happening. I'm just shaking. You're not going to make money that way. My mentor, Richard, goes, are you going to ever push the button? I said, yeah, maybe someday. He goes, why aren't you pushing the button? I said, I'm afraid. Afraid of what? Losing. He goes, well, let's fix that. You're going to lose when you're in business or in life or in the markets. You're going to lose. You got to get over it. Here's the reason you're not going to push the button, because you don't know how much you're going to lose. So he asked me, would you be willing to risk $1 to make $3? Raise your hand if you agree. That was pretty good. Okay. I said, yes. He said, watch. What's the stock trading at? $20. He said, let's put a stop loss in at $18. That means I'll risk $2. That's okay for me. But for risking $2, I need to make $6. That means my target's $26. If it goes down to 18, I'm out. I lost 2. If it goes up to 26, I'm out. I made 6. I could do that. I started pushing the button, started making money. Okay, there's more to it than that, but you get the point. So here's the questions you got to ask as a consumer. No longer, how much is it? Can I afford it? Ask these questions. Number 1, what's the price? Well, let's say the stock's at 20. What's it worth? That's critical to understand. If it's worth $40 and it's trading right now at 20, should you be buying it? And if you don't have the money, don't make the damn excuse, I can't afford it. You say, where do I get the money? Because that's going to go back up to 40 and get you 100% return at some point. It has to return to its norm. So what happens is you think differently. By the way, if it's at 20 and the stock's worth $10, even though you can afford it at 20, should you buy it? This is how most people lose their money in the market. They don't know what they're doing. They're buying overvalued stocks or positions. So watch. We know that the value is and the price are 2 different things typically. Then we ask the question, what's the return on the investment? How much can I make ROI on this position and in what time frame? Is it going to take me 3 months, 6 months, 2 years to make this return on investment? And then final question, what's my risk and how do I mitigate it? Now, if you ask those questions, do you think you're going to get different answers? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Now watch this, guys. All wealthy people do differently than anybody in this room. I don't care if it's Oprah, Richard Branson, Daymond John. The only reason wealthy people make a lot more money than the masses is because they understand how to make better choices. All we're doing is transferring how to make better choices to you. I learned how to make better choices. That makes me more money than most people on the planet. But why? It's not because I'm special. It's because I got around people that taught me how to make better choices. That's what your network does. Because a lot of you are making horrible choices that are wasting your life and your money like crazy. If you threw away your TV, it'd probably make you a lot more money if you used that time appropriately, right? I got rid of my TV 20 years ago. I don't watch TV. If it gets bad enough, somebody's going to let me know, right? I don't need CNN constantly negative news telling me. So listen to what Nate says.
Probably the biggest question I have from people is, Nate, what's it like working with Daymond? Most people don't realize that working with Daymond means working with his team, right?
So working with Daymond means working with his team because he doesn't have time to work one-on-one with people. He relies on his teams. That's what built his brands and his business. Who would like the opportunity to work with Daymond's team? Let me see who you are again. Let me explain what that consists of. When Daymond sends his team here to Boca for 3 days, it's 3 full days with a select group of entrepreneurs. It's not everybody. It's a select group. You're around tables. You'll have one-on-one time with Daymond's team for your business. You'll have small group interaction workshops with other entrepreneurs, some which might be worth millions and millions, some might be brand new startups. And you'll have big group workshop as well, but you're going to learn strategies and systems. For example, branding. Most businesses are not branding. They don't know how to brand. You got to understand today it's changed. It's no longer about the corporate brand. It's about the personal brand. When you get a business card, the first thing people do is they Google the person. They're looking for the person behind the brand. So you've got to understand, you've got to be congruent. What comes up right away? Your Facebook and your LinkedIn. And if you are not congruent with your personal brand, the way you show up here is the way you show up out there. You carry your patterns everywhere in life. Everything in your life is a reflection of you. Your bank account, the way you dress, your friends, the way you speak, and you're giving that brand to the world. And guess what? A lot of the brands are very incongruent, and you're causing business to repel from you. You're going to learn to brand so you step out, stand out, and not fit in. You were not born to fit in, and you've been taught to fit in. You were born to stand out. And you should dominate and differentiate with your brand. We're going to teach you how to do that. Marketing. You'll be shocked at the number of people that don't know how to market. Like if I asked you to write headlines, most businesses don't even know how to write a headline. They don't know how to write copy. They don't know how to use calls to action. They don't even know how every dollar they put into marketing should have a return on investment. They don't know how to quantify their dollars. Therefore, they're blowing money, their time. They don't know what they're doing. A lot of people go to universities for traditional marketing, and they're blowing it. We see big companies today blowing tons of money, and they cannot quantify where their clients are coming from. And you've all experienced it. Who's got on like a YouTube and watched maybe a documentary and then you get an ad flash up in your face for 30 seconds? Who's seen that? And what do they do? Does it relate to you? Like half the time it's like Gatorade. I don't drink Gatorade. Why is it in my face? And you're stealing 30 seconds of my life. If you steal your customers' time, they will hate you. You need to understand to give them time. That's what Uber did. That's why Uber's decimating the taxi business. They gave you value and time, and they're destroying the taxi drivers. And they don't get it. They're still hoping something's going to change. They got to catch up with disruption. Give your clients time. Learn to market appropriately. We're going to teach you how. We'll guarantee our marketing works. You know it works. We're going to see 1,500 people this week. We understand how to market because it's about building the brand and knowing how to direct response market. Financial literacy. Let's face it. Has anybody in this room, remember in school they taught you how to be financially literate? Anybody remember that? No. They didn't teach any of that. They taught you how to dissect a frog. How much money is that making you? So we're going to teach financial literacy because here's the thing. Who needs capital for your business? If we can get you money for your business, funding, who needs funding for the business? Okay? But before you need that, what's amazing is you're going to learn that maybe what you need is just correct knowledge. Some of you will not need the money you think once we teach you how to think out of the box in business. But when you get the money, if you don't know how to deploy capital, you'll be worse off than you were before you had the money. So it's critical you know financial literacy. We're going to teach you social media, how to use it to create a tribe, to get following, to people that buy from you, not once, but for life. We're also going to teach you how to get the product pricing better around the world. Who would like to be able to get your products priced cheaper, maybe in Asia? We have boots on the ground in Asia, over 40 boots on the ground. They speak Chinese. If you want to do it yourself, good luck. I hope you speak Chinese. I hope you're going to fly over there and understand the systems in Asia. But we can help you do that through our network. Also, hiring and sales and customer relationship management. So that's all the stuff, and there's more to it that you're going to learn. That's an intense 3 days. You'll come out with a blueprint to success. Now, the question you're probably asking once I mentioned that there's a 3-day training was what? How much is it, right? True? No, it's not 20,000, but it's a good choice. It's 5,000. 4,997. Write that down. So let me ask you a question. Is 4,997 tax-deductible dollars for your business a lot of money to invest in yourself and your business? Yes or no? Yes or no? Some of you aren't even saying anything. Do you think entrepreneurs have to have energy? A lot of you in the room are sitting here like, I'm going to be rich someday. You guys got to have some energy and bring it, okay? Is it a lot of money to invest $5,000 in your business? No. And if you think it is, you're not going to be in business long. You'll be out. You'll be done. This is an investment in yourself. The more you invest in you, the better the world becomes because you understand how to execute. Now watch. If you don't have $5,000, it might seem like a lot of money. But I'm going to tell you, if you're in the room and you're over 30 years old, and you don't have $5,000 in 2017, what have you done for the last 30, 40, or 50 years? You've screwed it up. Financial literacy is not working in your world. I would tell you, because you would be like me when I was 28, I didn't have it. I said I got to change immediately because I will be broke the rest of my life. And does it get harder as you get older if you have no money? Yep. A lot harder. You better pack a lunch. So I'm telling you, if you don't have it, I'd walk out and say, I'm going to find it today. I'll sell my car. I'll do whatever. I'll call friends. Find it because it's worth it. Now, what Daymond will do is he'll take the risk off of you. He knows that this works. We're not on trial. But he knows that you don't know if it's going to work for your business, for your startup, for your brand. So what he does is he says, I'll take the risk off of you. When you go back, you're going to enroll to work with Daymond's team. It's a 6-month contract. You work with Daymond's team, you execute, and in 6 months, if you have not made back the entire amount, well, not that. Here's what he's going to do. He's going to do it 3 times your money back. So he says this, if you go out there and you execute and you don't make at least 300% return on your investment in your education, let us know. We'll give you every penny back. We'll end the contract and we'll part friends. We probably won't talk to you again. But does that take the risk off of you, yes or no? Yeah, because he knows it works. He just doesn't know if you work. If you work, it works. Make sense? So you have nothing to lose, everything to gain. By the way, if you did cancel it in 6 months, you still got the connections you made at the training, which will open up doors to you. I have people that I have met that have made me millions of dollars through these programs because they open doors to me as a network. Number 2, you still have the knowledge. We can't take that back, and you got your money back. So the worst off, you're still better off than you would be otherwise. But we know odds are it's not going to happen to you. Some people will get their money back because of the timing or the market. But at the end of the day, we know most people do phenomenally well. Okay? So that's the program, just so you know what it is. And by the way, some of you have been procrastinating all your lives. If you know that this is for you at any point, don't wait till I make the offer. Go back there and tell them you want to do it. Daymond is going to make a special offer today, so he's going to give you a deal, a Shark Tank deal, but he will make an offer. But if you wait till the end, the table will fill up and you're going to wait. Okay, so when you know it's for you, go back and tell me you want to do it. Now let's get into selling online. Who has a product in here? Okay, who would like to sell a product? Thinks it might be good to sell a product. So what's the biggest marketplace online today? The store. Amazon. Who shops on Amazon? Raise your hand if you shop on Amazon. Okay, so listen, what we teach is part of our training is Amazon and other retailers that we can sell through online. So here's the key. It's only about 3 hours of the training. So watch this. Why would we want to teach Amazon? Because 50% of the people selling on Amazon today are people like you and me, third-party sellers. And you can make a tremendous amount of money selling your products on Amazon. Now, the world is coming to Amazon so you can sell and market your products. So if you have a product, we're going to suggest you sell it on Amazon. If you don't have a product, you have a service, we suggest you align your service with a product to create a second stream of income. And if you're brand new and you don't have a business idea, we're going to suggest maybe you start your business with an Amazon business. I'll give you an example. If you shop on Amazon, I buy things on Amazon, whoever reads the reviews. Okay, so here's how you start a business. You read the reviews of something you're buying that you might like. Maybe you like fashion or maybe you like kitchen gadgets. If you see reviews that they're coming up lower reviews, we can show you how to determine how many are being sold a month and how much money is being made through the software. And then we can just fix it. If they're telling you all these problems with the product, we have the connections. We can get prototypes built to make it better. Make it better and come out with your own brand and start to dominate. Most people on Amazon are not trained. They're not brand market specialists like Daymond. They don't have these systems and they're making money. So when you learn to do it right, you will start to dominate. And that's what we're about. Branding yourself, marketing, optimizing, PPC, you're going to learn to do it right. So here's the key. There's 2 ways you'll make money with Amazon that we're going to teach you. Retail arbitrage, and number 2 is called private label. Retail arbitrage is a very quick way to make money. You can do this in a couple days after you leave the training. It's not your long-term business plan. It's short-term. All this is doing is finding a product that's already out there, a name brand. You buy it cheap, sell it at the price called the buy box price, and you make the spread. Okay? We're looking for a 20% return on our money, and it's the short game. It's a short game because we do it very quickly. Now, I'll give you an example in just a minute. But the long game, the real game that we want to play if we're playing in this space as a global brand, we want to build our own product called private label, which means you're going to manufacture your own product. So this isn't the only belt out there. Nate has his called Mission Belt. There's another one called Ratchet Belt. Same thing. So you just want to dominate and brand. Which one is going to be bought the most? The one that knows how to market and brand the best. They're always going to win. That's why we focus on marketing and branding. Number 1, I don't care if you have a nonprofit business in here, if you're in multi-level marketing, a pizza factory, whatever you have, it's the same. You need to dominate in branding and marketing, and that's what we focus on. Everything else is ancillary, which you'll get good at too, but those are the things that bring in the money and the customers, okay? So we're going to look at getting much larger profits on our own product, 40 to 50% return on investment, and this might take you 60, 80, 90, 100 days to get your prototype built. So that's why it's a little bit longer of a game to get into. Let's take the retail strategy. This is called a Contigo mug. You've seen the Contigo mug, correct? Yes, some of you? So it's just basically a mug. And look, it sells for $11.16. Write this down. When you're selling on Amazon, you want to sell at the buy box price. You need to sell at $11.16 if that's being sold at $11.16. If you're not at $11.16, you're not showing up. You're not going to be in the buy box. Amazon will actually split the buy box with you. So let's just say, is it Eileen? Eileen. Eileen's selling the mug for $11.16. I'm selling the mug for $11.16. Amazon's going to rotate each sale between us. If there's 3 of us, Joseph, right? So now we have every 3rd sale. But if you're not in the buy box, that doesn't happen to you. So you need to be at the buy box price. It's important. So you click on that and they buy. It's on Prime, which means they get it in 2 days, free shipping. We love that. Some people will go down here and look for other sellers. There's 51 other sellers. We got to determine who's our competitors. Now, when we show you how to do this, there's not 51 competitors. There's only 2, because there's only 2 selling it for $11.16. Everybody else is selling it for $6 to $30. They don't show up in the buy box. Therefore, we're going to punch it in our software, and we're going to look at how many actually are sold a month. There's 3,266 of these black mugs sold per month. If there's 2 competitors, that's 1,633 each that they're selling. Now, the return on this is a 25% return. Here's how much you can bring home a month on the Black Contigo mug if you're one of those 2 competitors. $4,556. Now, that's not going to make you rich, but who would not mind an extra $4,500 a month coming in? What would you do with it?
Pay for the course.
Yeah, pay for the course. I like that. Good thinking. What else would you do with it? Don't say buy some Jimmy Choo shoes, right? You reinvest it. Reinvest it in your marketing, your branding, your education, whatever it is. Keep putting it back in your business. Guys, when I started making money, what I did is I didn't go pay off my debt first. I didn't go say, let's take 40 grand and pay it off. I didn't. What I did is I built my money. I still drove a beat-up car for a long time. I built it. And once my account was huge, I took a little bit and I paid off all my debt, and I felt amazing. But I didn't use my debt money to get paid off right away, because then I wouldn't have had any capital. So keep putting it back into your education, your brand, your business, and then eventually you pay it off. Now watch. We have boots on the ground internationally to help you build product at a better pricing if you need a product. Blaine came to us from Catch It Toys. Because he moved his manufacturing from the U.S. to offshore, his sales went up 2,000%, including a $220,000 month. If you can't relate to that kind of money, because maybe you've never made that much before, I understand. But here's what I'd suggest you do. If you just focus on this, if I could sell 10 mugs a day on Amazon and my profit's $10 a mug, that's $100 a day. Very doable. Once I'm dialed in and I'm making $100 a day on Amazon, my focus as a seller is not to just sell, it's to get reviews. I want more reviews from people like you that love me, that love the mug, and I get the reviews. The more reviews, because you're serving your customer, taking care of your brand, they go more reviews, more sales, more reviews. Then you roll out mug number 2, you do the same thing. 10 a day, $10 a mug. Hey, guys, can you go check on this, please, and talk to the hotel staff about what's going on? So $10 a day, $10 a mug. Guess what? You're $200 a day now. $300 a day with the third product, you're at $9 grand a month. Who could use an extra $9 grand a month? Okay, if your hand's not up, I don't know, check your pulse, see if you're alive. Seriously, I got to tell you guys, some of your energy, I can't tell you. The way you win is keep your energy up. You know that the cultivation of energy is the key to an entrepreneur. Why is Elon Musk changing the entire planet, starting businesses that are disrupting the entire planet? Because he keeps his energy up. You got to have energy. It's your life force. If you walk around dead, it looks like your body died like 30 years ago. It's just not caught up yet. So get your energy up. It's going to help you be successful. Yeah, say woo. Woo. Come on, some of you didn't do it. Do it again. Woo! Woo. There it is. By the way, if you want to change your state, change your physiology, right? If you want to change the way you are, you just change it, and it creates energy. So this is Nate's belt. It's called Mission Belt. It's a private label. Now watch this. He sells 3,200 of these a month on Amazon, and that's at $9. He gets this belt from Asia, $9. That's how much he pays for it. He sells it for $36.95 on Amazon. So that's a nice profit of 53% return on his money. He makes $62,000 a month on Amazon on that one color belt, black. Now watch. Once you proved your concept on Amazon, you can print the Amazon report. You can go to a company like Nordstrom, Macy's, Walmart, and go sell it there too, because they see the results. So he's in over 2,800 retailers now selling his products. That makes you more and more money, okay? So that's what we want to do. You can do this yourself as your own merchant. If you do it yourself, you have to find the product yourself, store it yourself, ship it, handle all customer service and returns, your merchant accounts, and also there's no selling on Amazon Prime. So you'll make more money per unit, but it's a lot more work. We're going to suggest you use Amazon FBA, which means they'll do the work for you. So with FBA, they're going to store it in their warehouse, which means your customers will get it sent on Prime in 2 days, free shipping. Who likes that? They'll also do all the customer service, the shipping, the returns, everything. They'll process the credit cards, and you'll get paid twice a month. So what happens is you're paying more per unit to Amazon in fees, but you free up a lot of your time. Who would rather have more time while you're selling your product? Because then what do you do with that time? Put it back into your business, right? And we'll talk about that in a second, but watch. When you own your own product, you own the buy box. That is your box. That's yours. Nobody's competing. And by the way, when you do it yourself, you might make more money per unit, but you will not have the time. So therefore, Nate's willing to actually make less per unit and save that time so he can build his other businesses. So just because Amazon has disrupted the retail space, other companies are getting destroyed like Walmart and Target. So what are they doing now? They're scrambling, trying to compete with Amazon. 2 days ago, Amazon just hit $1,000 a share. First time in history. They're pushing $1 trillion publicly traded company. Huge. And they're very small today in the world of e-commerce, which means they have a lot of growth to do, which means your business can be amazing. But here's the thing. A lot of people are relying on Amazon as their business. They don't understand that Amazon can change a policy and you could be out of business tomorrow. So we're going to teach you not just to use Amazon. Walmart has now started their own website so you can sell your brand on Walmart. We're going to teach you how to sell your brand on eBay. Teach you how to sell your brands on Etsy and Spotify. Because when you learn, or not Shopify, sorry. When you learn to sell your brands on your website, social media, and other retailers, you're going to build a great global brand. It's not about one company. It's about you and your brand. Who would like to have a global business, by the way? Raise your hands. Making currencies all around the world. Because today you need to be global. You got to think global to be global, right? Let me share a story with you real quick. I found that traveling the world, people are pretty much the same. Most people in life want to be successful. They really do. They want to make more money. They want to have more time to spend with their kids, to take care of their parents, to do the travel, all that. But most people will never, ever be able to do it. And it's because they live in fear. The program that's dominating most people in this room and most people on the planet is fear. Is fear not pushed every single day through the newspaper, through the news? Isn't it the backbone of pretty much everything that's out there? So the fear program holds people back. You need to learn to reframe fear. Because what happens is you're in this comfort zone and you want to step out and start your business and you freak out because you're at the edge of the comfort zone and you're like, oh, I'm afraid I could lose. What if I lose? What if I fail? This is holding most of you back. You'll never win. You're going to fail anyway because you're not stepping into the fear. If you don't step into the damn fear, you're in trouble. So what if you could change it to this? When I step into fear, I feel the fear. It's a feeling. Entrepreneurs feel fear, but they let it move through them like a cloud in the sky. It's here and then it's gone. It doesn't stick around. And then you've grown. You've built the muscles. Your comfort zone becomes much bigger. If you stay away from fear, you're always going to fail because that's where everything you want is on the other side of that blanket of fear. So what you need to do is reframe. If I feel afraid, I need to step into it. Instead of saying backing up, no. Step into the fear and own it. Now here's the thing. Most gentlemen have learned not to feel. Men have been programmed not to feel. How many men remember when you were a little boy and you cried, they said, you shouldn't feel that way. Stop crying. Don't be a pussy. Guys, raise your hand if you heard this stuff. Look, and this is why guys die so much quicker than women. They're stuffing all these feelings down and they're afraid to feel. I don't want to cry. Well, it's supposed to happen, and that's why you have all that sickness inside of us. So what we need to do is feel and let it pass through. When it passes through, it's natural. Look at little kids. They go cry, they get a little comfort, and then they go back out and play again. But you learn to bottle that. It hurts you. Step into the fear. So my mom lived her whole life in fear. I understood those were not her programs that she was putting into me. I learned later that those were somebody else's programs, but she latched onto them like so many of you have latched onto somebody else's program and you think it's yours. I wanted to take care of my mom, so I went to Seattle. She thought I was crazy. You know, they all thought I was nuts. Who understands to be an entrepreneur, they're going to think you're nuts. Yeah. You're not going to be normal in anybody's life as an entrepreneur. Normal people have jobs and don't retire. They work at Walmart later as greeters. Just kidding. Relax. Okay, so why? Some of you are like, really? So here's the thing. I went to Seattle. I came back to Denver, and I had made tremendous life strides. I had made a lot of money. I drove back. I left in a beat-up Toyota Corolla. I came back in a brand-new car, paid cash for it. My life had changed. My brother looks at my mom and goes, how the hell is he making all this money? He flunked kindergarten. He couldn't even figure out his homework. They couldn't figure it out. So I come back home, and I'm ready to take care of my mom. The very 2 weeks that I'm home, my mom is coughing very aggressively. And I asked her, how long have you been coughing? She said, for 6 months. I said, did you go to the doctor? She said, no. So I said, you're going to go to the doctor. And I made her go to my doctor. After a series of tests over a couple days, my mom walked out of that doctor's office in the hospital, looked me in the eyes, and said, I've been diagnosed with lung cancer. She was 61 years old. 61 is young. I flashed back to 1973 because her mom was diagnosed with the exact same cancer in 1973. And my grandma, which was my favorite grandma, after diagnosis had chemo, radiation, and died within less than a year. And it was very painful. And I looked at my mom, and she looked at me, and she thought her life was done, and she had never lived because she lived in fear her whole life. And I looked at my mom, and I said, Mom, I got you. I've got money. I've got time. I'm going to scour this planet to keep you alive. And that's what I did. I turned all my attention to studying adenocarcinoma 15 hours a day. The first thing I studied was the American cancer system. And by the way, it's a system. Everything that's a system works. I just recently watched the movie The Founder with Ray Kroc. He created a system for McDonald's that created a huge company. It works because it's a system. The school system is a system. It keeps the masses broke and keeps them working as little worker bees for the elites to get rich. It works for the few. The cancer industry of America is a system. It makes a lot of money in big pharma for a very few amount of people while the masses suffer. In fact, when I studied this, which I went intensely on, I learned so much how not only is it keeping us alive longer, but they're sucking more money out of us. And the number of people that die from cancer, they don't count it because they're getting killed from the radiation and from the chemo and all the sicknesses around that. I was blown away at what I learned. It disgusted me that that's such a capitalistic system of sickness. So I turned my back on that. And I went over and I started studying other modalities. I studied Panchakarma, which is an ancient Indian healing technique to cleanse the body at the cellular level. I studied Ayurveda. I studied juicing, fasting, qigong, meditation, alkalinity in the body. I studied sugars, Laetrile, vitamin B17, which the FDA runs out of the country because it competes against big pharma. I've studied so much, and I found out that every single one of us get cancer in our lives. But our immune system eradicates it. That's what it's for. When your immune system's down, they want to hit you with phasers and poisons and radiation. That's big money. But here's the thing. When I learned this too, I learned that a cancer cell is simply a cell in the body that forgets who it is and it attacks the host. It separates and attacks. When I started to study the law of one, the great oneness that everything is, I started to realize that our language creates sickness and it creates health. What we speak, we create. There's a new science called cymatics. Cymatics means sound creates form. The entire universe vibrates in frequencies. And the frequency you speak creates a formation. You create your destiny. This is not woo-woo. Go research it. Now watch. Most people are speaking crap because they think crap. They're poverty thinkers, scarcity, lack thinking, and they say all this crap, and then it goes in their body, and you create a dis. A dis is when one becomes two. It separates itself. Now you have two-ness, and it attacks itself. Isn't this what CNN and Fox do anyway? They create a separation in the masses to keep us distracted. So if you're distracted attacking each other, they're up here pillaging, watching the cancer grow. As within, so without. So I showed my mom this stuff, and I said, you're always critical of people. You're always attacking. You're always never embracing. You've got to learn to embrace and love. There's only fear and love, and you operate in too much fear, and that's the opposite of love. And I showed her this, and she goes, wow, and you flunked kindergarten. And I said, Mom, she goes, Vince, what would you do? And I said, listen, Mom, I would never do that. We saw what that did to Grandma. I said, I would do this. My mom said, I'm going to do that. So she took my protocols. And by the way, the doctors did not like us. The doctors attacked me. They told her that I'm a quack. I didn't have a degree, which is true. But my mom listened to me. Why do you think she listened to me versus the medical establishment? Well, here's the thing. Your body knows truth. Your brain doesn't know truth. You can be lied to, and a lot of us believe a lot of lies that don't serve us, but you think it's true. It's crap. It's basically crap coated in chocolate. So it looks good, smells good till you bite into it. The body knows truth. Your body has always known truth. When you drop from thinking into feeling, your body tells you truth. Who's felt truth in here today? Who's felt truth? You feel truth. Sometimes you get confused here. My mom felt truth. I was operating out of love. They were operating out of something else. She didn't feel love. So she felt this was the right path. The doctors disagreed. This next picture, 3 years later, 64 years old. She had never had surgery, chemo, or radiation. First time in her life she's ever been to a beach because I took her to my house in Florida. We walked the beach this day, 3 years after she's diagnosed with adenocarcinoma and a lemon-sized tumor in her lung. And I asked her one question. I said, Mom, what is it in life you've always wanted? And my mom, at 64 years old, who never had anything, looked at me and said, all I've ever wanted, Vince, is to be treated special. I said, what's that mean? She said, I've always had a dream to stay in a 5-star hotel in Denver for the weekend. I'm like, you live in Denver, it's down the street. The thing is, it's true that what happens is as people get older and they don't get their dreams, they start to shrink them down. They'll just take something close to what they want. I said, Denver, Mom, come on. She goes, well, I can get room service. I said, so you want room service in a nice hotel down the street? I knew what she wanted was bigger than that, so I sent her home. I called her best friend, Lori, and Lori grew up with her. They'd never been anywhere, both of them, because birds of a feather. And I said, Lori, you want to go with my mom? Lori said, Vince, I can't. I said, Lori, I'm paying for everything. She goes, oh, I'd love to go. Didn't take much. I sent them not to Denver, but to Hawaii. I decked it out. I had a limo pick them up. I had a welcoming party. I set them up for 10 nights in a beautiful hotel overlooking the ocean with a huge veranda, and I had the room decked out. My mom got there, and they went to Pearl Harbor, and then they went on the sunset cruise that I put them on, and she called me this night crying. I think she had a couple pina coladas. But she said, Vince, I want you to know I'm 64 years old, and never, ever in my life have I been treated like this. She goes, it was so amazing to have that limo, to have the welcoming party, to be on this cruise tonight. She goes, I want you to know I love you so much, and I'm so proud you're my son, and that you didn't listen to me. So, and by the way, before we hung up, she goes, one more question. I said, yes. She goes, can I order room service while I'm here? I said, yeah, go ahead. I believe, here's the thing that I know about this. What's going to cause you success in your business is not as much your product or your service. Those are great. There's a tribe out there probably for your business that will pay and make you very wealthy. And you can serve a lot of people. But what's going to hold you back or move you forward is your belief. Because here's the thing. Your business and your life is based on your beliefs. And your beliefs are not yours. They were given to you by your environment. If you grew up in an environment like I did, around poverty, around Section 8 housing, around people that had stinking thinking, you know what happens? You grow up the same with these programs, and you can't break out of it. I had to move myself out of that, and I had to sacrifice. I was willing to do it because I knew inside myself, we are here on purpose. I am not here to fail. I am here to win, and as are you. But here's the thing. If your belief is, I'm not enough, the biggest scar in humanity is a belief system that they have buried deep inside of them that says, I am not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not fast enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not as good as my brother or my sister. Because we have heard this in so many ways. And when you believe you're not enough, when you start a business, you're going to end up taking action, and it's not going to be massive action. You won't move across the country. You won't sleep on a sofa. You won't sacrifice to build your business because you don't believe it's going to work anyway. So you'll take little bits of action, and then you'll watch the Kardashians. Or whatever you do, right? And then when the resources, the time, the energy, money, you don't leverage it because you believe it's not going to work. So what happens with your business? It fails. The results are failure. And you say, see, I knew it wouldn't work because that was your belief. If you have the belief that knows no matter what, I win. How do I know I win? I believe this, the universe will bend when you have that kind of faith. I step into the fear and I say, I'm going to win. I don't care what it takes. And I fail, and that's a win because I'm not stopping. And when you know that you're going to win, it all adds up and it brings it back to make sure you win. Everything serves you. When Steve Jobs got fired from Apple and he came back and built the largest company on the planet, he said, everything in my life served me. I connected all the dots. The fact is, it had to happen that way for him to do what he is here on purpose to do. Everything has to happen the way it is for you to be who you are. So you got to go forward and say, I'm taking action on it because I know I'm here on purpose for a calling and a destiny. And when you have that faith, it moves forward. This is Darren. He came to our training. Halfway through the training, he went to the back table and started making noise. I thought he was complaining about me. He came back and sat down. At the end of the event, he came up and introduced himself to me. He said, I enrolled in the course. Now, he was one of the many people that enrolled to work with Daymond's team. And I said, oh, you're the guy that was back there making noise halfway through. He goes, yes. I said, what were you doing? He said, I was enrolling. I said, but I didn't even make the offer yet. He says, I don't need you to tell me when I can enroll. I said, oh, I like you. I mean, he didn't have to wait. He knew it was for him. And I asked him, why did you go back and enroll before I even made the offer? He said, because I'm already making $10,000 a month in my business, and what I know is making me some money, but what I do not know is costing me a fortune. So he said, if I could learn one nugget, 2 or 3 things from Daymond's training, it'll change my game. So he plugged in and went after it. He said, there's nothing to lose anyway. I have a great guarantee. So he went back and enrolled. Here's what he did. Once he plugged in, he took his business from $10,000 a month to $25,000 a month in just 5 months. What did he learn? Well, he learned a lot. One of the things that helped him do that is our teaching on target marketing. Everybody in this room, you have an audience. It's not the world. So many people think the world's my audience. They'll all love my cupcakes. No, they won't. The fact is you have a target. If you don't know who your customer is, the socioeconomic background, their age bracket, male or female, rural or city, their hobbies, you do not know your customer. If you don't know your customer, you're not messaging right. Your pitch is wrong. You're never going to reach them. You're going to be out of business. We're going to teach you how to dial in your customer, target them where they're going to come to you, and they're going to want to spend money with you, not once, but for life. This is what we did with him. And by the way, your ideal client, we're going to show you. Listen, you can put a Facebook ad up, and you can have congruency, but if you don't know how to brand and market the way we teach you, you probably won't make any money on Facebook. There's a great target audience out there today with social media, whether it's Instagram or YouTube. You can target your audience when you know how to give value in advance. So we're going to teach you how to target your customers and get them coming to you to build your business. Write this down, a brand. There's 2 things that a brand allows you to do. Number 1, when you build a brand, people come to you. Notice how you came to Daymond. He didn't come to you. You saw the brand, you came. That's the way you're going to learn to build your business. You're going to be the brand that differentiates and stands out in your community, neighborhood, city, wherever you want to take it. Number 2, you don't lower prices when you have a proper brand. You can raise, double, and triple your prices. Too many of you are selling your services or even your products for too cheap. You need to learn to raise prices. But the value, the fact that you have a I'm not enough belief system, you keep your prices too low. That right there will change the game. For example, see this is a Rolex. How much does it cost to make a Rolex? To create, not the metals and all that, but actually to put it together. How much does it cost? Anybody know? About $167. Okay, now watch. People will pay $20,000, $50,000, $80,000 for this watch. Why will people pay that much money for a Rolex? Because of the brand. What creates the brand? Perception. All perception is language. When you learn how to be a perceptionist, you can create a brand that people pay a lot more money for because you understand the science of influence. How you use your language, how you create perceptions creates the value. Value is only a perception. It's a belief. If you don't know how to do this, you're never going to have high value. It's about the way you convey your message and your pitch. That is what you need to learn. Okay? Now, by the way, number 2, you don't drop prices. So number 1, they come to you. Number 2, you don't drop prices. You raise your prices. Also using social media. So this is Nathan from Pro Track Guides. He came to our training. He had a whole in-house team. They weren't getting traction, weren't growing the business. Once he plugged into Daymond's team, in 90 days of execution, they started to really grow this thing. Because of that, they were offered $4 million to sell 90 days after leaving our training. Now, he didn't sell it. He said, no, I don't want to sell my business. I'm on my way to 20 million. This is what we're going to teach you, how to really build value in your company. Now, you might have a website, you might not. But the key is you should be using social media. Today, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram give you something called live video. If you're not using video on mobile today, you're behind. Today, the world is going to mobile and video, and you should be out there getting an audience following you by giving them value, value, value. Then you start to acquire customers. The question is, do you know how much it costs to acquire your customer? If you don't know your business. Once you acquire the customer, you got to keep them because most people lose customers because they don't know anything about lifetime value. From cradle to grave. For example, let's just say we have, how do you say her name is? Harriet? Harriet. So let's say Harriet's a dog groomer. That's a service business. She wants to put an offer out to bring your dog in for $25. That's how most people do it. Send out one offer, bring your dog in, we'll groom it for $25. The problem is that's a one-off thinking. We want you to think bigger. To be a brand, you need to think bigger than one-off. You need to think, what's the lifetime value of that dog, of that customer with the dog? How many dogs are they going to have? Let's sell them a package for several years of grooming. Let's throw in Harriet's Puppy Paw Cologne, Harriet's Puppy Paw Shampoo, and conditioner. Because why would she sell something from PetSmart? They're coming to buy Harriet. Harriet is the one that creates the fans. Build a brand, build products, build services, put them on Amazon, Walmart, and put them together in a package. Now you go from this little company to a very big company. You automate, you don't work in it, you work on it. Raise your hand if you understand that. That's what we're doing at our training. We're teaching our students how to do that. Clinton Chantrese used this, and all they did is went back to their database, and they actually added more value to their current customers and doubled their sales. You already have fans out there that love you. Learn to build value and use them as your key foundation for building your business. We're going to teach you how to go the 5 stages of business. Some of you are in the dream stage, which means you're just dreaming. You got to get that dream out of your head. We're going to show you how to test your concept before you spend a lot of money on it to see if it's a viable business idea or a service. A lot of people blow a lot of money. They don't know what they're doing. So we're going to show you how to do that and get it out to the market. Survival stage, if you're ready to close your doors, you need to learn to grow. We're going to help you get off that survival mode, get into growth. And then all of you need an exit strategy on how you're going to leave your business. You're going to move it on in the family, take it public, merger, acquisition, takeover. You got to know how you're going to get out before you ever get in. So this is our training. It's 3 days. It's intense. You're working with other entrepreneurs. It can open floodgates for you financially when you understand how to network with people in the room that could open doors for you in your business and opportunities worldwide. You're also going to have the team of Daymonds. You're going to work one-on-one with them. And so there's a lot going on there. Who's still serious, by the way? Let me just see who you are. Good. I know some people are enrolling already at the back. But watch this. Jay came to the training. He had no clue what to do in business. He just was sick and tired of corporate America. What he learned to do is go out to the local community and buy businesses that are already in existence, but they were failing. The first one he bought was a laundromat. This guy just wanted out, so he sold it to him for cheap. Jay used the technology he learned at the training on marketing and branding, built value into the laundromat, pulled the equity out of the laundromat, and bought a fitness center with the first company. So now he owns 2 companies using the equity. He builds the fitness center using the same technology and buys a Shell gas station. So he's building a phenomenal empire of businesses using what we taught him by buying up cheap businesses because the entrepreneurs are failing and you can buy them for pennies on the dollar. That's one way to do it. By the way, each one of those owns a piece of real estate. Real estate has cash flow, tax deduction, and growth. Speaking of real estate, everybody turn around. This is Mr. Trey Stinnett. He's coming up next. By the way, Trey, good to see you. Trey, at 20 years old, made $1 million with real estate in the first 18 months. He's 30-something now. I'm not going to tell you his age. But the fact is, he works directly with Doug Hopkins from the Property Wars TV show, if you guys have seen the TV show. So he's going to teach you a couple strategies. Stick around, because if you want to learn to make money with no money of your own and even no credit, he'll show you how to do it, because he started like many people. 20, young, with no money, no credit. Okay? So stick around to watch Trey. Now let me just tell you what happens at the Daymond's training. You have one-on-one training with Daymond's team. You're going to learn branding for your product, service business, personal brand, etc. Social media, how to use it to engage and get a following. What causes business is not information. We live in the information age. People have too much information. What causes business is engagement. Optimize your business and revenue models. You're going to learn to create and negotiate, how to decode sales, traffic, and revenue, how to source your products and save money so you're getting better pricing, how to sell online, saving time. You're also going to learn how to create a better message and pitch to reach your target audience, and how to automate your business where you're working on it, not in it. If you're brand new and you're starting a business, you're going to learn how to use your passion. Who would like to build a business based on your passion? Yeah, because then guess what? Time flies. You're having fun. You love life, because it's not about the money. It's about serving people and about your passion. You're going to also learn how to network that will change your net worth. If you have an application or technology, you'll learn how to launch and grow that. Funding, how and where to get the money. You're going to learn how to get the money and where to get it, and we can help you get money. That's not a problem. Money's abundant. Start generating money quickly, close, navigate, and create. You're also going to learn to think like a business owner. So when you leave, you'll have a 6-month plan of action to go out there and build and grow and scale your business. Okay? Now again, we're going to switch out computers in a few minutes. Trey will come up. It's going to take about 7 to 10 minutes, and then we'll get going again. Trey's only going to go about 50 to 60 minutes, not as long as me, and he'll teach you a few strategies on real estate right here in your local market. But let me find out who's serious about working with Daymond's team, because he's going to make you an offer right now. I want to see who the serious people are. Raise your hands. Look, we lost a lot of hands. It's so funny. Oh, I'm serious all the way through until it's time to actually do something, then I'm not serious. Okay, here's the offer. Anytime you want to do it, you can enroll to work with Daymond's team anywhere in North America for $4,997. It's 300% money back guarantee. It is guaranteed. We know it works. Today, he's going to give you an offer because Daymond invests in people, not in business. So for those of you that are serious, you're going to take action. He's going to invest in you, part of this, which means today you're going to invest $1,997, which is less than $2,000 for 3 days training, tax deductible. You still get the guarantee, 3 times your money back at least, or you get your money back in full at the end of the 6 months. And we know it works. So now who's serious? Raise your hands. Stand up, please. I want to see who you are because I'm going to do one more thing for you. I like to separate the few from the masses because we know the numbers in the world the way it works. 80% of the planet will never make any money. In audiences like this, it's usually 80% don't do anything. Everybody wants to be rich. We love you anyway. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the people that execute always that win. They make more money than most of the people in the country. So here's what we're going to do for you. For those of you in the room that are serious, you usually can bring with you a business partner or a second person, a spouse. They can work on their own business or they can work on your business. Today, you get to bring them for free. So that means 2 people go for the price of 1, and you get the 3 times money back guarantee, the one-on-one, etc. There's already people enrolling. Go back now and get it. If you want it, go get it. This is your opportunity to do it now. If you're still sitting here and you're saying, well, Vince, maybe the dates don't work or whatever, go talk to the team. Because what's going to change in your life if you don't change something now in 3-5 years, you're going to be in another free seminar looking for a way to make money. You've got to take action. All right, if you learned something, raise your hands. Good. We're going to switch out computers and we'll be back up in just a minute.